Welcome to the Right Academy. I'm Matthew R. Miller. We're talking about conjunctions, how to join together sentences, because joining them together makes your writing more elegant, more interesting, and more varied. And that's what readers like, and it makes it a better read, okay? So we've already talked about coordinating conjunctions, so if you want to go back and watch that video, feel free. We're going today to talk about subordinating conjunctions. Subordinate, submarine. Sub means under, right? Submarine is a boat that goes under the water. Subterranean, under the earth. So when we talk about subordinate clause, we're really only talking about a dependent clause. You may remember there are two kinds of clauses. A clause is just a group of words together. That's really it. Independent clause can be a complete sentence by itself, subject, its verb, complete thought. A dependent clause cannot be a complete sentence by itself. It depends on the independent clause. And we say that as long as you have one independent clause in a sentence, you can attach a bunch of other dependent clauses onto it as you wish. So think of a subordinate clause as just meaning a dependent clause. It's basically the same thing. So let's take two simple sentences. Roger walked into the room, sentence 1. I screamed, sentence 2. Okay, so there's all sorts of things we could do with that situation, right? Why am I screaming, for example? So those are two complete sentences. Put a period between them. Boom. Two sentences. It's fine grammatically as it is. You don't have to change anything. But if you want to make it more interesting and show the relationship between the two sentences, consider joining them together. Okay, here's how you do subordinate clauses or subordinating conjunctions. Now, we have a whole bunch of these. If you remember coordinating conjunctions, there are only 7 in the entire English language. Subordinating conjunctions, there are a lot. I don't even know how many there are in English. Hundreds, perhaps. At least 100, over 100, maybe even more. So these, you kind of just, you can't memorize a list of them. You kind of just have to get a feel for them, okay? Let me just give you an example, some examples of some common ones. After, although, as soon as, by the time, when, if only, in case, just as, though, although, whenever, when, where, wherever, whereas, whoever, why. There's just a ton of these, okay? They all have something in common, though. When you attach them to the beginning of a clause, a sentence, it makes that sentence dependent, okay? It means it's no longer a complete sentence. Example, my mom stopped over today. That's a complete sentence, right? Mom, subject, stopped, it's verb, it's a complete thought. But if I said this, when my mom stopped over today, it leaves you hanging, right? You want something to complete it. It's not a complete thought. So just putting that when on the beginning of it changes that complete sentence to an incomplete sentence. In other words, it changes that independent clause to a dependent clause. Think about it again. My mom stopped over today. When my mom stopped over today, right, it now has no longer a complete sentence. You're waiting for more for the rest of it. So they all have that in common. If you want to test if a word is a subordinating conjunction, attach it to the beginning of a sentence and see if it leaves you hanging. If it does, it's probably a subordinating conjunction. Okay, here's how we use these. So what's the example I gave earlier? Roger walked into the room, I screamed. All right, two complete sentences. So you start with independent clause, meaning complete sentence number 1, Roger walked into the room. Let's attach a subordinating conjunction to that. How about this? As soon as Roger walked into the room, I screamed. All right. Now we have, what does that seem to make you think about? Maybe something about the way he looked. It's almost like I immediately screamed, or maybe I wasn't expecting him. Okay, how about this? Although Roger walked into the room, I screamed. That makes you think like maybe I was going to scream anyway, and Roger walking in didn't change it. Subordinating conjunctions, just like the coordinating ones, have different things they communicate, and you want to choose the right one for your sentence. Just as an example, like just as, though, whereas, while, in comparison to, these all show kind of a contrast or a comparison. Now, subordinating conjunctions that show cause and effect. As, because, in order that, since, so that, okay? Because I ate right before bedtime, I had nightmares, okay? Condition, if only, even if, provided that, unless. Unless you get enough sleep, you will be tired the next day. Place, wherever you go, you will always find me. That sounds kind of creepy now, right? Time, when I showed up, they were waiting for me. So there's just a ton of these, and they all have slightly different meanings. So your job as a writer is to choose the one with the meaning that best suits your sentence. And don't hesitate to keep a list of these by your, paper, pencil, laptop, however you write, to use for reference. Okay, so here is the deal with how these work, the punctuation. Okay, all right, so you have, go back to my example. Roger walking to the room, I screamed. Okay, 2 ways to do it. First way, put the subordinating conjunction in front of the first sentence. When Roger walked into the room, I screamed. If the subordinating conjunction is on the first sentence, we use a comma. Okay? When Roger walked into the room, comma, I screamed. So when has made that independent clause into a dependent clause, a subordinate clause. After it, we put a comma. What if we flip them around? I screamed when Roger walked into the room. Now, the complete sentence, the independent clause is first, and the subordinate clause is second. In this case, you don't need a comma, okay? I screamed when Roger walked into the room, all right? As soon as Roger walked into the room, comma, I screamed. I screamed as soon as Roger walked into the room, no comma. The stylistic use of subordinating conjunctions is that they can add a certain elegance to your writing, but they can also emphasize the first part of the sentence. Imagine you have 2 people in a romantic relationship. Maybe one of them can't be in it right now. They have to move. They have to go join the military. They're already in a relationship. They have to get out of anything you can imagine. Okay. So one of them says to the other one, I will wait for you as long as you love me. Okay. In that case, as long as, there's our subordinating conjunction. That means the second sentence is the dependent clause, so no comma. I will wait for you as long as you will love me. Okay, fine. So the emphasis there is on the waiting. So the emphasis is on the person waiting. I will wait for you as long as you love me. It's on their effort, their desire to be with this person. Flip it around. As long as you love me, I will wait for you. Now it seems a little bit less certain, doesn't it? Meaning like, yeah, I'll wait for you, but almost saying like, only if you still love me. If you stop loving me, I'm not going to wait for you. So see how that can change the feel of this sentence. I will wait for you as long as you love me. As long as you love me, I will wait for you. It changes the whole feel of the sentence. So those are subordinating conjunctions. Play around with these. Remember your punctuation rule. If the subordinating conjunction comes first, comma. If it comes second sentence, no comma. Remember that a subordinating conjunction makes the sentences attached to dependent, meaning not a complete sentence. So you have to attach it to an independent clause, to a complete sentence. Remember what we said. Every sentence needs somewhere in it at least one independent clause, one complete sentence. And we can attach stuff to it as we wish, as long as that base, that root is there, that complete sentence. So that's subordinating conjunctions. I hope that makes sense. So we've looked at coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and I mentioned that you can join 2 sentences together with a semicolon. That's the easiest way. If you want to join 2 sentences together, replace the period with a semicolon. There, it's fine. It's done. And it shows the sentences are related. Next video, we're going to look at something called conjunctive adverbs, which are very elegant and very nice to use, slightly more complicated, but really not that difficult. Okay? So subordinating conjunctions, let me know what you think about these, or if you like to use them, or if you hate them in the comments. And if you find a complete list of every subordinating conjunction in English, please link me to it, because I've yet to find one that's definitive and says there are this many. And I'm curious, because there's more than I can think of. Please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, it helps me a lot. And remember, you are getting a university level writing course on the Write Academy. I used to teach writing at the university level, and this is what I taught the students. So you're really getting a free university course. So tell your friends, if you're a new writer, if you're an intermediate writer or an advanced writer, you know people who like to write or read or anything like that, let them know, bring them here, and I'll continue to make these videos. I hope it helps. Thanks so much. I'm Matthew R. Miller, and you're watching the Write Academy.